Now let us start with the basic types of photoelectric sensor. See, I have bifurcated it in three types. One is basic working mode, other is fiber optic, and third is diffuse working. The basic working mode, I have divided photoelectric sensor into basically three types depending upon the working mode, that is diffuse or the proximity, retroreflective and through beam. Fiber optic. Now fiber optic photoelectric sensor, we say it as fiber optic. The reason is that they use fiber optic cables. That's why they are called as fiber optic photoelectric sensor. And they are further divided into make, type and working. Diffuse working. Now based on the diffuse working, these three sensors I have listed down. These all three sensors work on a diffuse mode. I will be explaining you all what is a diffuse mode in the further lecture. Color sensor, color mark sensor, UV sensors. So we can find this type of sensors in diffuse working mode. Based on basic working principle, so these are the three types which I have shown you: diffuse, retroreflective, through beam, diffuser, proximity, retroreflective and through beam. Standard diffuse sensor. See in this GIF image again we can see a sensor, object passing, it sensing it. Standard diffuse sensor. It measures the light reflected from the target and not from the background. This we can see in this GIF image. Used for the detection of objects, cost effective. Consists of transmitter and receiver at the same end. For reflective objects also is work fine. Cannot be used for dark and white objects. I would be explaining you all about this point. Transmitter and receiver are in a single housing, no reflector required. Installation is very easy because we don't have any additional reflector in front of this sensor. Only a single housing product we are having. Sensing distance is less than retroreflective and through beam. See, in a further video lecture I would be explaining you all about retroreflective and through beam. Now for the understanding purpose, let us just understand that sensing distance is less than retroreflective and through beam. Now see, in this chart we can see the working of a standard diffuse sensor. On the x-axis we can see 0, 50, 100, which is nothing but the distance in mm, that is the sensing range of the sensor. On the y-axis we can see the color of the product, that is black color product, gray color product, white color product. From the chart we can know that if I am having a black color product, it can detect up to a range of say 75 mm, and for a white product it can sense up to a 250 mm. That means for the same sensor it is having different detection ranges for different color products. So this is the major drawback of a standard diffuse sensor. These are cost effective sensor, but this sensor can be used only if I am having a single color product. Say if I am having a black color product at a distance of 50 mm, I can use this sensor. And if I am having only a white color product at a distance of 200 or in between 200 and 250 mm, I can use the standard diffuse photoelectric sensor. But the problem is that if I am having a multicolor product which is having a black color also, gray color also, white color also, at a distance of 200 mm, at this case I cannot use this sensor. The reason is that if our product is white color, it can successfully detect at a 200 mm. But if I am having a product of black color and the gray color, it will not detect at a 200 mm. So this is the major drawback of a standard diffuse photoelectric sensor. They are cost effective, but they cannot detect multicolor product. So to overcome this drawback, further these sensors are divided into two types. This standard diffuse sensor are further divided into two types, that is background suppression and foreground suppression, to overcome this drawback. Diffuse mode with background suppression. So let us start with the first type, that is background suppression. So we call it as diffuse mode with background suppression. Means the sensor is a diffuse mode photoelectric sensor with background suppression. As the name suggests, background suppression, it is independent on the background. Whether a background is present or not present, this sensor detects the product independent of the background. It detects the light reflected from the product, not from the background. So the reason it is called as background suppression method. These sensors have a defined sense range. Okay. Sense range regardless of shiny reflection or color of the product. Okay. They can detect dark object even on reflective background. For black and white target, range remains same. Measure of light reflected is. I would be explaining this point from this graph. See, in the earlier graph we have seen, for the same sensor, if we are having a black product, it can detect up to a range of say 75 mm, and for a white product it can sense at a range of to 50 mm. But in this background suppression diffuse photoelectric sensor, we can find that for black color, white color and gray color, there is no much difference in the detection range. Only there is a very minor difference. So this type of sensor we can successfully use if I am having a multicolor product. If I am having a black color or a gray color or a white color product, and if I am placing it under 150 mm, then it can successfully detect. The only difference is that in the diffuse mode with background suppression, it is having a dead band for a black color. Now what is a dead band? See, every photoelectric sensor when we buy, and we are having a look at the technical specification of that sensor, we can find a dead zone. The dead zone are those zones in which sensor will not detect the product if it is coming under that. For example, say in this black product, our dead zone is say 5 mm, means any of the black product passing in a 5 mm distance from the sensor, it will not detect it. So we have to always keep our product higher than the dead zone, then only it can successfully detect the product. So this is the main difference between a standard photoelectric sensor and the diffuse mode with background suppression sensor. In this we are having a IR sensor also with very lower black and white differentiation as compared to visible red light. In this graph we have shown background suppression method for a visible red light, but if we are using the IR sensor, the difference between the detection range of black and the white may even reduce up to some extent. Now based on the advantage and the disadvantage, we have to make selection as per our application. See, over here we can see the reflection angle of the sensor If my target is nearby, it is having a different reflection angle, and if my target is at a higher distance, then it is having a different reflection angle. This is the angle between the angle of incidence and the reflection. Advantages: for reflective color it works successfully. For black and white color range also it works. Now what are the disadvantages? Sensing range is less as compared to standard diffuse sensor. Yes. See, for standard diffuse sensor we are having we are having a very big sensing range as compared to our background suppression, but it cannot successfully detect a black and a white color at a fixed sensing distance. Need to set minimum sensing distance as certain angle is being defined in the receiver for background suppression. See, this point I have explained here. Need to set the minimum distance. There would be a minimum sensing distance, that is nothing but the dead zone. We have to set the target greater than the minimum sensing distance, then only it can successfully detect a product. Minimum sensing distance is approximately 10% of full range. Say if I am having a range of 100%, the minimum sensing range would be 10%. That is, we have to place the product greater than the 10%. Then only it can detect the product. When two contrasting color black and white are kept at a cutoff range, it will reflect color from both reflective surface and toggle. See this point, I will explain over here. See, the maximum sensing range of this sensor for white color is say 160 mm. If I am keeping any product, if I am having a multicolor product, means I am having a black color product also, white color product also, and a gray color product also, and it is passing at a distance of 160 mm. For white color it will detect. For it gray color it may toggle. It may or may not detect at this range. And for black color it will not detect. So the problem here is, for gray color it may or may not detect. Means a sensor may even give multiple pulses for a single product, or it may even, it will not give any pulse. So never use a product at a cutoff range of any sensor, not only for this type, for any sensor. If we are using if we are using the product at a cutoff range, it will not give a better performance. It will always toggle or may show a false reading. So always keep the product lesser than the maximum sensing range of the sensor. So this was the point which is being explained there. Diffuse photoelectric sensor with foreground evaluation, that is a diffuse mode with foreground evaluation. So as the foreground evaluation or the foreground suppression also we can say. See, as the name only suggests, it is independent of the foreground. Now here foreground means the product. Okay, when we are using foreground and the background term, foreground is the product, background is the background of the product. Now foreground suppression means it is independent of the foreground, means it is independent of the product. It detects the light reflected from the background of the product. Over here we can see the sensor is detecting the light reflected from the background of the product. If the product is coming over here between the background and the sensor will detect the product. Means as the light gets cut off, sensor will detect. Means it is independent on the product, that is the foreground, and it depends only upon the background. It works completely on the background. Background color, see over here the background color must be reflective, kept at a constant distance. It is similar to retroreflective. See, the retroreflective sensor is having a reflector. Reflector means a mirror-like object it is having, from which the light gets reflected, and if any product is coming in between sensor and the reflector, it will detect. But in this case we are not having a reflector. Over here we are having a reflective background, whether it is a, say, a steel plate or any other product which is highly reflective, means any other background which is highly reflective. Its functioning is similar to retroreflective, but we are not having a reflector over here. If color and shape is also changing, it will not affect the sensing capability. See over here, the light is measured from the background. So if any shape or size is being coming in front of the sensor, it will detect successfully. Object below minimum level is ignored. See, there is no minimum sensing range in this. The prior mode which we have seen, diffuse mode with background suppression, we were having a dead zone in it. Over here we don't have a minimum level or a dead zone. The reason is that the light is reflected from the background. If I am keeping a sensor at this position also, it will detect. Means at this means at a distance of less than 5 mm also it will detect. The reason is that the rays are being cut off by the product, and by that manner a sensor can detect. Now these are the advantages and disadvantages. See, for irregular shape, color, we can use this diffuse mode with foreground suppression method sensor. Now what are the disadvantages? See, these sensors are less accurate than retroreflective and through beam, which we would be learning in a further video. Can be used for large objects, not for small objects. We can use this sensor for large objects but not for small objects. Small objects like needle. Example. Now here comes the retroreflective sensor. See, when we say retroreflective sensor, two parts are there in a package, in a single package. That is a sensor and a reflector. A reflector is a mirror-like object. If any product is coming in between the sensor and the reflector, sensor will detect the product. So in this retroreflective sensor, we are having two types, and that two types depend upon the reflector type. Normal reflector type and polarized reflector type. I will explain you all about the difference between the normal reflector and the polarized reflector. And in this retroreflector also, emitter and the receiver are at the same unit. Can be used for large object, but we cannot use for needle, pin or any small kind of objects. Now what are the advantages and the disadvantages? See, this type of sensor can be used for large object detection. Sensing distance increases. Means when object is large and the sensing distance is increasing. See, this retroreflective sensor is having a higher sensing distance as compared to diffuse sensor. Sensing distance is high, the reason is that they are using a reflector. Transparent and opaque objects both can be detected. Retroreflective polarized sensor is used for shiny object detection. Yes. reflector can reflect the light completely, and if I'm having a shiny object, it may also act as a reflector, means it may also reflect the complete light. In this manner, the sensor will not be able to detect the product. So if I'm having a highly reflective object, so at that time I have to use a polarized reflector. So if I'm having a polarized reflector, it will only pass a particular ray of light which can be teached in this sensor, and if any other reflective product is coming in between, it can successfully detect. Sensing range is more than diffuse sensor. Yes, retroreflective sensor is having a sensing range higher than diffuse sensor but less than through beam sensor. Through beam sensor also we would be learning further, but for now we have to just know that it is less than through beam sensor but greater than the diffuse sensor. See over here, there is the difference between the normal reflector and a polarized reflector. See, the normal reflector are used when we do not have a shiny object, and a polarized reflector are used when we are having a shiny object for detection. Through beam sensor. See, the through beam sensor are more accurate than diffuse type and the retroreflective sensor. In short, in these different mode, through beam is the most accurate, but it is having some other drawback also which we would be learning. For laser type through beam, it can detect extremely small object like needle also, which is at a very large distance, say 2 meter, 3 meter, then also it can detect. Large and small objects can be detected. Laser type can detect a pin or object with a minimum spacing of 1.4 mm. It depends on the beam size also, yes. The supports for high speed counting as compared to diffuse and retroreflective. So if we are having an application for counting of needles, we cannot use a retroreflective and a through beam. We have to use a laser type through beam. The reason is that for the diffuse and the retroreflective, light is being diffused from the product. So this small object may represent a single object for the retroreflective or the diffuse sensor, and it may not work efficiently. Means for this all the 4 pin, it may detect only a single pulse. Means it will consider a single product for all these needles. So at such application we have to use a laser type through beam sensor, which is having a beam smaller than the pin. This is the most important point over here. If my pin is having a 10 mm, the laser rays which is coming from the sensor must be less than 10 mm. If it is greater than 10 mm, it will not work. Transmitter and receiver are separate and has to be aligned accurately. See, this is the major drawback of through beam sensor. On site, when we are installing this sensor, we have to install and align the sensor exactly at a 90 degree. There should be no deflection. This is the transmitter part and this is the reflector part. When we say through beam sensor, transmitter and the receiver both are coming in a single package. So these sensors are most costly as compared to diffuse or the retroreflective type. So we have to align this transmitter and the receiver accurately, otherwise it will not work properly. What are the advantages? High speed with a minimum gap between targets is accurate as compared to diffuse and reflective, yes. Supports a long range, yes. See, when we are telling through beam, there are also 2 types. Diffuse through beam is also there. Laser type through beam sensors are also there. For laser type through beam sensor, it can support a long sensing range. No deadband and cutoff. See, in this through beam method, there is a transmitter. That light is being received at the receiver end. There is no cutoff range like minimum zone or the dead zone. If our needle is coming say less than the 5 mm also, it can detect. So there is no deadband or cutoff. Only is the area between the transmitter and the receiver. If any object is coming in between this, it will detect successfully. Disadvantage: alignment of transmitter and receiver is the only disadvantage. Otherwise, we can use this sensor through beam, which is more accurate and diffuse and retroreflective.